the Long Island Sound and the East River and this whole area cleaned up, trying to teach people or show people how nice the water is around here and to let them work with us to clean it up. The river has been around for about 15 years.
Oh, you didn't take the nice coconut smelling stuff.
Go for that. The Hawaiian tropic.
Well, this boat is named for the man who wrote that song, and that's the way we feel about the river. This is your river. This is our river. It's everybody's river. Some extraordinary pictures. Look at that picture there. Isn't that a great one?
Oh, yeah. Looks like they're collected from all over.
Yeah. We did a couple interesting things. I never would have done this. We started up to make a collection of union songs and then decided, let's give some farmers' songs. And then Bernice Regan says, if you don't have pictures of the working people who weren't allowed to be in unions, the women and minorities, that's not much of a working people songbook. So the first chapter starts off with American Indian songs, slave songs, and women's songs. Second chapter gets up to the unions. And we end up doing an interesting thing. We put small business blues. Because I realize if this world's going to be saved, the small business people are going to have to realize that they're being put out of business by the multinationals just as much as everybody else. And their interest is with the working people, not with Reagan. It's a good song, incidentally.
They're the ones that can decentralize.
Yeah, that's right. Ronnie Gilbert sings this everywhere. First dollar on the wall makes you feel like standing tall. Go on. Don't say America's gone lazy, it's the economy gone crazy. And if we don't make a change, we got to lose. We got the small business blues. Ask me about Lily Mae?
Lily Mae. Is it true you used to listen to her records on slow?
An old Kentucky woman in New York, Aunt Molly Jackson, loaned me 2 records. She said, Pete, you learn these songs. This is the best music in the world. And on one side was Banjo Picking Girl, on the other side, Little Birdie. And I just fell in love with those records. I slowed them down to a growl and tried to figure out how the banjo was being played. And the label said the Coon Creek Girls. A few years later, one of the Coon Creek Girls came to New York. That was World War II was on. And this tall, lean daughter of a mountaineer type comes, and she could play the banjo. And Lily Mae participated in a radio program we made then. I think it was being made for BBC over in Europe. And they wanted to have hands across the sea between the Allies and so on. And Alan Lomax, the folklorist, said, get Lily Mae up here. And she played a trick on me and Lee Hayes. He says to me one day, Pete, I've never seen New York. She opened up her big blue eyes. Won't you show me the Empire State Building? I take her up there. Next day she says, same thing to Lee. Lee, I've never seen New York. Won't you take me up the Empire State Building? Never told him that I'd taken up the day before. Now, some of her songs, I couldn't figure how she played them. I found out later on she used a special tuning. Now you can play Little Birdie. Little birdie, little birdie, what makes you fly so high? It's because I'd be a true little bird and do not fear to die. Little birdie, oh little birdie, what makes your head so blue? It's because I've been grieving after you. Little birdie, oh little birdie, what makes your head so red? Well, after all that I've been through, it's a wonder I ain't dead. Little birdie, little birdie, come sing to me a song. I've a short while to be here and a long time to be gone. Oh, thank you.
Was it unusual in those days to have a woman like that out performing the way she was doing the rest?
There were some women country singers who pioneered. I can't remember the names of all of them. Judy Canova, Patty Cline. She was actually encouraged by a radio man named John Lair, who ran the Renfrew Valley Barn Dance. And I think maybe he put the Coon Creek Girls together as a group. He said, here's 3 talented young women, let them work as a trio. Trios of women were getting popular, the Andrews sisters and other sister groups. I couldn't say exactly how it happened, but I guess this is also the pioneer tradition encouraged it. When women and men found themselves on the frontier and a job had to be done, you couldn't get picky about whether you were a man or a woman. You're going to do the job, you did it. And so American life had encouraged bringing out women's talents in one way or another. Tugboat Annie's husband died, she keeps on running the tug. And probably many a mountain farm was kept on farmed after the man had died by the woman.
Did you know her well as a person? What she was like?
No, we just met on a few occasions. Of course, I still have those old records, occasionally play them. Among my favorite banjo-picking records of all time. I can try to play the banjo, but she had that plunky sound, which is, oh, well, you'll hear it. It was unbeatable. A real wonderful old-timey sound, which modern banjo pickers don't seem to be able to get. I don't know why. I doubt they ever met each other, but perhaps in Kentucky they listen to the Renfrew Valley Barn Dance. And I know Aunt Molly had this record. Maybe Sarah had it too.
Tell us again how that song inspired you.
You should know that Sarah Gunning was inspired to write a song called "I'm Going Around the World, Baby Mine. I'm Going to Organize," from a popular country record called Banjo Pickin' Girl. Lily Mae Ledford and the Coon Creek Girls recorded it in the late 30s. And it was one of these fine old-time banjo pieces. And Lily Mae hollered it out with full enthusiasm, and Sarah just picked up on it and started making up some new verses. Great old tradition. New verses to old tunes. I once asked my father why other countries didn't do this so much. He said, well, some parts of the world do. Africa, there's a strong tradition, and in Ireland and Scotland, there's a strong tradition. France, too, and Germany. But I said I went to Japan, and I said, why didn't you put new words to some of your beautiful old melodies? Ah, he said, there the old is so very old, and the new is so very new. It's hard to make the leap. But we've had a long tradition in Western Europe, and now the New World, of taking old culture and remaking it and making new culture out of it. I'm of the opinion that anthropologists will decide this has been Europe's great contribution to the world, knowing when to swipe a good idea. Sailing. The centerboard comes from China, as well as the compass. The triangular sails come from Africa. The shape of the boat came more from Greece or the Phoenicians, with a little bit added from the Vikings. Most of the words we use are Viking words, because the Vikings came to England, and King Alfred co-opted him. He said, look, become Christian, we'll stop fighting. So the Vikings probably said, Christian, schmishten, who cares, as long as we're here. And they were very good sailors, and that's why the English became good sailors. The word mast is a Viking word, skipper, tiller, starboard, all Viking words. Now, I have a friend who taught his scouts to build a Viking ship in Denmark. He said, we took our boat to Newcastle. I said, everything you learned about sailing, you learned from us. They didn't want to hear it, but it was true.
Well, it's important to mix history, the past and the present, to know where we've been.
It's not easy. In most early societies, if it was strange, it was evil. And it was an astonishing development of the Mediterranean area. I say it may be strange, but maybe we can steal it and use it. Whether it's Egyptian or Roman or Turkish or African or whatever it is. I made up a song based on this. I sing it all the time. How'd it go? You know this language that we speak. Oh, too low. You know this language that we speak is part German, part Latin, and part Greek, with some Celtic and Arabic all in the heap, well amended by the folks in the street. Choctaw gave us the word okay. Vamos is a word from Mexico way. And all of this is a hint, I suspect, of what comes next. I think that this whole world, soon, mama, my whole wide world, soon, mama, my whole world, soon gonna get mixed up. I like Polish sausage, I like Spanish rice. Pizza pie is also nice. Corn and beans from the Indians here, washed down by some German beer. Marco Polo traveled by camel and pony, brought to Italy the first macaroni, and you and I, as well as we're able, put it all on the table. I think that this whole world soon, mama, my whole wide world, soon, mama, my whole world, soon gonna be get mixed up. You can sing it with me. Soon, mama, my whole world, soon, mama, my whole wide world, soon, mama, my whole world, soon gonna be get mixed up. There were no red-headed Irishmen before the Vikings landed in Ireland. How many Romans had dark curly hair before they brought slaves from Africa? No race of man is completely pure, nor is anyone's mind, and that's for sure. The winds mix the dust of every land, so will woman and man. I think that this whole world, soon, mama, my whole wide world, soon, mama, my whole world, soon gonna be get mixed up. Oh, this doesn't mean we must all be the same. We'll have different faces and different names. Long live many different kinds of races, and difference of opinion, that makes horse races. Just remember the rule about rules, brother. What's right with one is wrong with another. And take a tip from La Belle France. Vive la différence. I think that this whole world, soon, mama, my whole wide world, soon, mama, my whole world, soon gonna be get mixed up. Soon, mama, my whole world, soon, mama, my whole wide world, soon, mama, my whole world, soon gonna be get mixed up. I think so. There's times to be pure, but this is a particular time in history when we have to learn from each other. I really do hope that we don't completely forget some of the pure things from time to time. Oysters and ice cream don't make as good a combination. I'd rather eat raw oysters by themselves and eat ice cream by itself.
We need more tolerance in
Yeah.
the world.